With Starfleet Command fully invested in the space exploration designs of Project Galaxy, the Akira Class would almost be all but forgotten, until a devastating attack on the Federation would bring this starship class to the forefront of Starfleet's mind. But what do we know about this unusual but powerful starship class? Well, today we'll find out. Hello and welcome to another episode of Truth or Myth Beta Canon, a Star Trek web series that dives into the history of any given topic using beta canon sources and my own imagination to fill in the gaps. In today's episode, we're taking a look at the Akira Class, first seen in Star Trek First Contact, to better understand its place in Star Trek history. Please note, I love the Akira Class design, being such a different starship design to that which had been shown in Trek up to the time. I was blown away when I first saw First Contact. So many starship designs, so powerful, this was the Starfleet that I had hoped for. I know some of you out there are anti-battleship style starship designs, and that's okay, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. However, as we all should know in this day and age, paradise always needs protection, making the Akira Class a necessity of Roddenberry's future utopia vision. But of course, and as always, because this is just a beta canon video, all information relayed should pretty much be taken with a grain of stardust and only considered a little bit of Star Trek fun. And so, with all that out of the way, let's begin. Project Akira was one of the lowest priority projects on Starfleet's roster in the mid-24th century. A starship design being created to battle the Cardassian Union during the First Cardassian War, the Akira Class's development would head to the back burner for Starfleet after it was determined that the Cardassian Union was really no match for the Federation, and that the war was more of a joke than anything else. Even older 23rd century relic starship designs could outfight the overconfident Union with relative ease. And so, Starfleet Command would divert almost all of Project Akira's resources away from the Akira Class to continue developing the Project Galaxy starship classes, but then, in 2367, the Battle of Wolf 359 would change everything. Starfleet and the Federation's hubris was at a maximum before that devastating battle, with starship designs underdeveloped technology-wise, in favor of an explore the cosmos, mixed with Starfleet can handle anything that's thrown at it attitude. So starship classes like the Galaxy class, which should have been way more powerful than what they were, would suddenly look foolish after the Borg battle. A year before the Battle of Wolf 359, the USS Enterprise D, under the command of Captain Jean-Luc Picard, would be flung to System J25, where it would encounter and be extremely outmatched by a single Borg cube. And this encounter would throw most of Starfleet Command into a frenzy, unsure what to do about the upcoming threat. But even as Starfleet Command and the Federation Council wasted time debating the Borg problem, one Admiral, Admiral Robert Layton, saw through the fog and immediately began using his own personal influence at Starfleet to prepare the Federation for a Borg attack. And one of his first actions was to pour as many resources as he could into getting Project Akira done as soon as possible. Sadly, he would be unsuccessful in launching his new breed of Starfleet vessel before the Battle of Wolf 359, but finally, with the full backing and support of Starfleet in 2368, the Akira Class would be born. Sitting at a length of 464.43 meters, the Akira Class would be designed to be operated by 500 officers and crew members. Containing a newly developed and much more powerful warp core, the Akira Class would have a standard safe cruising speed of warp factor 6, with an emergency maximum speed of warp factor 9.8 for 12-hour increments. Tactically, the Akira class would contain 6 of the newly developed Type 10 phaser arrays, which were capable of a maximum phaser discharge almost 4 times as strong as the phaser arrays utilized at the time in the Galaxy class design. The Akira class would also contain 15 photon torpedo launchers, the largest number of launchers ever included in a starship design to that point in history. A specialized weapons pod would be designed and constructed for the class. Not limited to simply forward and aft launchers, this starship could actually fire all 15 torpedo launchers at the same time, hitting multiple targets with relative ease. She would also be one of the first starship designs to include the newly developed ablative hull armor, adding an extra level of protection to the starship hull, and based on the old idea of polarized hull plating Starfleet used before developing shield technology for their starships, the ablative hull armor system incorporated a polarization matrix into its armored hull plating. And through the application of electromagnetic power, the metal hull of the starship could be made several orders of magnitude harder than it was in its non-polarized state. And although not included at launch, the Akira class would also be the first starship class to test the newly developed multispectral regenerative shield system that would become standardized in the 2370s. The Akira class would also contain a large shuttle bay with both forward and aft access. This would allow the Akira class to act as a carrier for much smaller fighter craft that Starfleet was developing, with storage facilities for 40 of those auxiliary spacecraft. Launched in 2368, the Akira class would quickly become a major player within the fleet. Performing above and beyond her theoretical specs, the Akira class would prove her worth during the wind-down of the First Federation Cardassian War, and of course, against the Borg in the Battle of Sector 001. As a result, the class would go into full and rushed production in the early 2370s, and become a common sight during the Dominion War, serving on the front lines in most of that conflict's major battles. But her involvement in historic battles would not end there, with the Akira class being a part of such conflicts as the Battle of Gamma Serpentis, the fleet sent to respond to the Borg threat in 2401, and even in the Battle for Earth during the Frontier Day celebrations of 2402. So tried and true was the Akira class design that Starfleet would continue to construct it well into the 25th century, with the design receiving refits and upgrades as new technology was developed. Beginning its design phase during a lackadaisical era of battle starship design, the Akira class would nonetheless become a symbol of protection and the commitment that Starfleet held towards protecting the citizens of the Federation, earning this unusual testbed class its place in Starfleet history. Thank you for watching today's episode of Truth or Myth Beta Canon. What do you think of the Akira class and the historical narrative that I've created here? Do you want to see more videos like this one? Well, leave your comments in the section below. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel, hitting that little bell icon so you won't miss a single video we release. Want to help the channel protect the citizens of the United Federation of Planets? Then consider becoming a channel patron, a major help that allows this channel to purchase resources and 3D models to keep it going. The link to our Patreon account is in the description below. Thanks again for watching. Live long and prosper.